Today I'm going to be teaching you guys the right way to price your handmade products for your small business. Pricing is something that every small business owner has to encounter at some point in your entrepreneur journey. But tell me if I'm lying. You thought about how you had to price your products, you went to Google, you typed in a random pricing calculator, they told you the numbers to plug in, you did so, and then you were like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out because this is what my price should actually be. Or you have a friend or someone who tells you, girl, your prices are too low. You know you should be charging X, Y, and Z without any really basis as to how that formula works. I'm going to take you guys through step by step how you should properly price your handmade products to not only make a profit, but to also pay yourself and be able to scale your business in the future. So if you guys have not already checked out this video where I talked about the common mistakes that we as small business owners make when we are pricing our handmade products, please go and check that video out. This video makes part 2 to that video. So sorry that it's so delayed, but I've gotten a lot of comments and you guys reminded me that I totally forgot to produce this video. So without enough talking, let's jump right into how we price these products. So let me go ahead and be honest and let you guys know that this video is going to require you to do a little bit of math. So you might need to go ahead and grab your calculator. Me, I'm old school, so I did have a whiteboard handy. I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how to utilize this pricing calculator and this formulation that you should use to price your products. There are so many formulas out there on the internet, but the one thing I do want to let you guys know is you can't really follow just one specific formula down to a T. Everyone's business is different. Everyone's profit margin is different. The cost per product is different. There are so many different variables that go into properly pricing your products. Don't get discouraged if you tried a formula and you still felt like the pricing that you came up with just didn't really fit. A lot of the formulas that we'll see on the internet require us to multiply our production cost by 2, which in that case, most of the time it will raise your prices to like an unnecessarily high pricing point. And that doesn't account for how much time you're actually spending producing the product. Or you're using materials that are really expensive. That doesn't mean that your overhead costs are just as high and require that much of a markup. So sometimes using that formula where it says, enter all this information and multiply times 2, that could be too high for someone who's making something that does not cost a lot to produce. But on the other hand, some instances where you are multiplying by 2, that just simply may not be enough, because you are making labor-intensive items. It may not add enough markup to cover how much money you're actually investing into making your products. So without further ado, I'm going to share a little different outlook in a way that you can utilize this formula really easily. How to price your handmade products. So first and foremost, when you're thinking of pricing your handmade products, you need to make sure that you're including the cost associated with making your product, including your hourly wage. This is a big mistake that I see made often. We're not really paying ourselves by the hour. So I'll teach you guys how to do that today. Then you want to include your profits to the price. On top of that, you also want to add a markup value. This will allow for wholesale pricing, customer discount, or to just simply help you cover incidentals in your business. So here are the 3 steps that you should be utilizing to price your handmade products. Step 1, cover the cost. Your product's pricing obviously must ensure that you are being paid back for the money that you initially invested into the production of the product. Not just the money that you spend on your business every month, but all the costs and all the wages. This is why it's very important to keep receipts and things when you're buying inventory. That way later down the line when it's time to come up with your pricing formula or to come up with pricing for your product, you have an actual number to use. So here's the formula that you want to use. Materials plus production wages plus overhead expenses plus overhead wages equals cost. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but we'll break that down further. Don't worry, stay with me. Now, step 2 in pricing your handmade products is to add the profit. Y'all, we want to make some money, so we have to add the profit in there when we're doing our pricing formula. So profits should already be built into your formula, but you want to do so properly. Not simply by multiplying by 2, because that sometimes will not cover how much you're actually investing into the product production. And you don't want to just randomly guess a number and hope that you have some profit left over after you've already made the product and invested all this money. So your cost, which we got in step 1, you're now going to add that to your profit, and that will give you a base price. So basically your base price ensures that you are covering all known costs and earning a profit. That's just very simple. You are covering the cost that you initially made to make your product, and you're ensuring that you're going to make a profit based on this base price. Now, step 3 is to add the markup. So your markup is basically going to allow for you to cover unexpected overhead expenses. So for example, if you're selling on Etsy, your Etsy fees that you have to pay per listing or per product, those are going to be considered an overhead cost. So if you want to offer discounts and things like that later down the line, your overhead costs are going to be included in this markup. And now how much markup you want to include, that really depends on your business structure and what type of business you have. This is where it gets kind of tailored to your business. So I can't really tell you what your markup should be. You just want to make sure that in the incident that you do have incidentals, you want to be covered for those. A lot of the time I recommend that my customers offer free shipping pretty frequently, so your markup will include that as well. So we've established our base price in step 2. Once you've done that, you're going to have this formula: base price plus markup equals retail price, and that is what the price of your product should end up being. All right, so we're going to do an example just to say, like, I'm selling scrunchies. Say I'm selling handmade scrunchies like this one here. If this was my product, okay, this is the example that I'm going to use because scrunchies are really affordable to make, and yeah, scrunchie businesses actually do really well. So maybe I'll do a video telling you guys about how to start a scrunchie business. But here's the product that I'm going to be selling. Now we're going to utilize the formula. All right, here's a little bit of backstory. I purchased my materials wholesale, so I'm getting everything from fabric, from needle and thread off of a wholesale website. I can personally make about 12 scrunchies per hour. This is important to know so that you know how many scrunchies you can make and what you want to be paid per scrunchie every hour. That means I can make 312 scrunchies in a month. And say, for example, I'm paying myself $15 an hour in wages. Now, if we go through all of those steps, the first step that I told you guys was to cover your costs. So now I'm going to flip over to the board so I can show you exactly how I would do this. Okay, so we have step 1, we're covering the cost of the products. For every scrunchie that I make, it's going to cost me a total of $3.50. We start with our production cost per scrunchie. So per scrunchie, I'm going to spend $1.70. There's going to be 45 cents in material cost, and you're going to pay yourself $1.25 per scrunchie. Now you want to do your overhead cost per scrunchie. Total is going to be $1.80, meaning that I'm spending 55 cents on my overhead cost for production per scrunchie, and then also paying myself again $1.25 per scrunchie. So this is what your formulation should look like when you're trying to set up your cost, okay? Don't worry, I will include a formula. Make sure I'll include a formula on the screen somewhere so you guys can take a screenshot and utilize exactly what the formula is. But this is what my real world example looks like. So like I said, total per scrunchie, I'm spending only $3.50 to make one scrunchie. Now, that's including my production cost and my overhead cost. Okay, guys, now that we've established what the cost of our scrunchies are per scrunchie that we make, we've also included how much we want to make per hour with our wages in that formula. So $1.25 per scrunchie is what the example called for. Now, we're moving on to step 2, where we talk about the profit that we want to make. Again, keep in mind, you are thinking of the profit per item that you want to produce. So for this example, the cost of making a scrunchie is $3.50. Now I want to make, say, about 18 cents. That's almost 20 cents per scrunchie that I make. That means each scrunchie that I produce, I'll be making an additional 18 cents of profit. The formula for our profit is going to be the cost that we established in step 1. We're going to now add that profit. That's going to give us our base price, okay? So $3.68, which is the base price. Like I said, I'm adding 18 cents to that $3.50 per scrunchie that I'm making to get my profit. Now that's our revenue. So we've earned $3.68. We have to take that number, subtract it from the cost, and that will equal the profit. That's how you kind of double check what your actual profit is. Now we got to talk about profit margin, y'all. Say you want to mark up, say you want your profit margin to be about 5%. So again, the profit margin is 5%. Our profit was 18 cents. Now we're going to divide that by the revenue, which was $3.68. Then multiply that times 100, and that equals the profit margin of 5%. So let me get the whiteboard out and show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so here is a breakdown of what step 2 profit. So the formula is your cost plus profit equal the base price. Like I said in the example, our cost ended up coming up to a total of $3.50. Now we're going to add that 18-cent profit, and then we get $3.68 being our base price. Now we want to consider our profit margin of 5%. So to do that, we take the revenue, which is $3.68, subtract the cost, that gives you your profit, okay? This is the formula that you use to get your profits. Now, considering our 5% profit margin, you want to take that 18 cents revenue, you want to take the 18 cents profit, divide that by your revenue, $3.68, and then times that by 100. That will give you your profit margin of 5%. So I know what y'all are thinking. Nah, first of all, this is too many numbers. How am I supposed to figure this out? It's simple, you guys. All you have to do is first off know how much you are initially investing into the cost of your product, and then the formula pretty much builds upon the next step or the previous step. So your cost, we did that in step 1. To figure out your profit, you need to utilize the cost, because our cost plus our profit is going to give us the base price. Now we got 5% of a profit margin, which will tell us about how much we're making. So we're making about 5% per scrunchie that we make. Now, the very last thing we need to do is figure out our markup cost. Now let's take our profit and the profit margin and we'll figure that out together. When I'm thinking about marking up my product, I'm thinking about everything that I could possibly want. That includes all of the incidentals, if I'm giving free shipping, if I want to include a discount. So my markup was going to be 100%. Now, if your markup is 100%, it should end up being the same thing as your base price. So again, we came up with our base price at $3.68. If we're going to get a markup of 100%, you simply multiply $3.68 times 100 to get your retail price. So again, that formula looks like base price plus the markup equals your retail price. So let's do that formula together. It should be pretty simple because again, our base price is going to be $3.68. We're going to mark that up 100%. $3.68 times 100 is probably going to be, again, $3.68 or $3.69. Let me show you. This is step 3, you guys. This is the markup. And this is the last section and we're almost done. So, okay, so let me show you exactly what I mean when I'm telling you guys how to figure out your markup. So, hopefully y'all can see this. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. So we have our base price at $3.68. We're going to mark this up 100% like I said. And the markup times the base price is going to give us our retail price, which is how much your product is going to sell for. So $3.68 plus $3.69 is $7.36, which that ends up being our retail price. So basically every single scrunchie that I'm making is going to be $7.36. You know, that is a really, really strategic way to price your products. And that way you know for sure that you're not missing out on how much money you spent on the product. You know you're getting a profit. You know it's fairly priced for your customers. And now, if you decide to do things such as go give a discount, you know exactly how much of a discount you're giving and what that does to your business. Because I'll be honest, when I first started my business, I used to just loosely give out discounts. Oh, 50% off, 25% off. Not really realizing that if my product is not accurately priced and I'm not including my overhead costs, I'm losing money. And I'm not only losing money, but I can't reaccount for that money because the price of my product is not accurate. So, whew. So I know that was a lot to go through, but I do hope that I was able to explain that to you guys really simply. If you have a little bit of confusion and it gives you a hard time, trust me, I played around with this for a long time before I actually got confident in the numbers, confident in the formulas enough to be like, okay, boom, boom, boom. I got my cost, I got my profit, and now I know my retail price. Simple. If you need help with that, don't forget to click the link down below in my description box. You can book your one-on-one consultation. If you need a little bit of guidance and you want somebody to walk you through it, book a 30-minute consultation with me. This is something we can figure out in about half hour, especially if you come already knowing how much your cost of your products are. So gather up those receipts, gather up all your inventory, and think about the benefit of pricing your products efficiently will do to your business in the long run. So there is going to be a part 3 to this video. I'm going to go deeper and deeper into pricing your products properly. We've already talked formula, so next thing I want to talk with you guys is how to give out discounts, how to work that into your business so that you're not losing money and you're still consistently gaining money while giving out discounts, free shipping, etc., etc. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that it was useful or helpful to you in some way, and if it was, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so that you don't miss when I drop another gem. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. Love you guys. Peace.